Peace, blessings, and protection, my brothers and sisters in faith, in the name of Yeshua, our Lord and Savior, the only Messiah. Today's video is about traits of a narcissist. So in my previous video, I talked about what is narcissism, and I said that in the next video, I'm going to talk about characteristics, which is another word for characteristics is traits. Another word for traits is red flags of a narcissist. So before I start with that, I want to read a verse from Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. The heading says, "You will know them by their fruits. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them." So the reason why I'm reading this verse is for people to understand that when you are a good person, you cannot be a good person with a good heart and produce bad fruits. And you cannot be a person with a bad heart and bad intentions and then produce good fruit. Like it says here, verse 17, "Every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them." So what it means here by verse 20, "Therefore by their fruits you will know them," it means that what they produce, what a person produces, their characteristics, what they show on the outside is what's happening on the inside. You cannot have a good heart and then just have red flags, 100 red flags, but you have a good heart inside. But I'm going to dive deeper into this verse at the end of the video. I just want you to keep that verse in mind, that a good tree produces good fruit and a bad tree produces bad fruits, and then you will know a tree by the type of fruit that it produces. Now, when it comes to a narcissist, in the previous video, I explained that narcissism is a self-defense mechanism that the child comes up with when they're still young. Sorry, my English just went south. It is a self-defense mechanism that the child comes up with to be able to protect themselves in the environment they are growing under. So before I go into the traits, I'm very bad at drawing, very, very bad. But I'm going to do the drawing so you guys can understand, because people tend to think that just because you have traits that are narcissistic or because you have red flags, people already be like, yeah, you are a narcissist. Not true. So let me draw a child. Very bad handwriting. Okay, here's a clean page. So I'm going to draw the child. Arms, legs. So here's the child, right? Now let's say the child is 8 years old. So the child is 8 years old and they're growing up in an environment where the parents are abusive, or the guardian, whoever's raising them, is abusive and alcoholic, is just a very toxic, bad parent. Or the parent spoils the child, or the guardian spoils the child with gifts and money, but does not give them love and time and affection. So now what the child does, the child then creates this defense mechanism. So here's the child at the bottom, and then here's the defense mechanism at the top. Now, when you are dealing with this child, you are not dealing with the child. You deal with the self-defense mechanism, which is the X. Now, that X, that is narcissism. That is the self-defense mechanism that the child creates to protect this innocent, fragile child. So this X, this self-defense mechanism is protecting the child that's under. Because remember, the child is a child. They don't know how to think properly. They do think, but they don't think properly like an adult. So in the child's mind, building this false character is going to protect them. So if the parent of the child is abusive and just abusive mentally, emotionally, and physically, the child is going to pretend to not care about the abuse, to act as if they can take the abuse, so they end up acting like their parent. So they how can I put this without messing it up? The child becomes what they think the parent will accept, because all the child wants is to be accepted by their parent and loved by their parent. But because the parent doesn't love them, the parent doesn't give them time, affection, none of that. Now the child thinks, because they are fragile, because the child knows they're fragile, they're weak, the self-defense mechanism they create is the total opposite of the child. So if the child is weak, the self-defense mechanism is strong. If the child is always crying, the real person is always crying, the self-defense mechanism never cries. So whatever the child is, the self-defense mechanism that they create is the total opposite of the child. I hope you're following. So now what happens is that the child grows up, right? They become 10, 12, 16, 18, 25. What happens is that this self-defense mechanism becomes bigger and stronger. Oh, camera. Okay, let me just... Okay. So that child, when they developed the self-defense mechanism, when they were 8 years old, that child stays 8 years old. The only thing that's going to grow and become stronger is the self-defense mechanism. So the self-defense mechanism is just growing. The child is 16. The child is 20. The child is 30. So the self-defense mechanism is growing bigger and stronger, while the child, the self-defense mechanism is 30 years old, but inside the real person is stuck at this age, which is 8 years old. Because when they were 8 years old, they created this self-defense mechanism. Now this child is, in their minds, they're always 8. They might look 30, they might look like an adult, but they stopped growing mentally, emotionally, psychologically when they were 8 years old, because they abandoned who they were. The 8-year-old child abandoned themselves. They looked at themselves as weak. They saw themselves as a nothing because of the parent or the guardian that was raising them. So I'm going to say this again. The child stays 8 years old all the time, looks 35, but is still 8 years old. You are always interacting with the self-defense mechanism. But if you look deep down, you will see that this 30-year-old looking man or this 30-year-old looking woman is still stuck at this age when they created the self-defense mechanism. So I hope now you understand what narcissism is. Now I'm going to talk about narcissistic traits, which is what comes out, the fruit that the self-defense mechanism produces. Now the self-defense mechanism does not produce good fruit, because the self-defense mechanism is not real. It's not a real person, it's not a real entity. It's a figment of imagination of the child. But that figment of imagination grows. So the older the child gets physically, the more the self-defense mechanism also grows. But the person is still stuck at the age of 8 years old. That's why when you have a narcissistic partner, when you're arguing with them, you're like, oh my word, it's like I'm arguing with a child. It's because they are a child. If they created the self-defense mechanism when they were 10, they might be 35, but you're still dealing with a 10-year-old person, because that's when they stopped to grow, because that's when they abandoned their true self. Now, narcissistic traits, now we're coming back to the drawing, awful drawing, but if you watch the whole video, you'll understand. So the X is a self-defense mechanism. Now, narcissistic traits are a result equal to. Then you have the narcissistic traits under. So the self-defense mechanism produces narcissistic traits. Hence, it's very important to not call someone a narcissist without knowing what is narcissism. So the narcissism produces narcissistic traits. Now, the narcissistic traits I'm going to talk about in the video are not all the traits that a narcissist has or produces. It's not a closed list, but these are the main ones that I can think of and remember, because I've dealt with narcissists. I've dealt with people who were with narcissists, whether it's husbands, wives, boyfriend, girlfriends, or friends. So the narcissistic traits, in no particular order, I wrote them down so that I do not forget them, is that they are very self-absorbed. Everything is about the narcissist. Everything is about the narcissist. They don't care if it's your birthday. They don't care if you are graduating. They don't care if it's your wedding. They don't care if you are the one that's being celebrated. They're always going to somehow spin everything around and still make it about them. So they're very self-absorbed. They are selfish. When a narcissist does something, they never do it for others to benefit. Even though they might sometimes make you think that it's for you, it's never for you. Everything a narcissist does, it's for themselves. It's for them to benefit. They are very, very selfish. You can, for example, you can help out a narcissist. Help them, help them, help them. When it's your turn to need help, they won't help you. They'll give you a million excuses, but they won't help you. They'll be like, no, I can't help because of my child. No, I can't help because of this. They will try to make you feel bad in terms of, how could you even ask for my help when you know I'm a single mother and I'm looking after my children? Whereas you are able to put your life on pause and help them because you're like, oh, you're my friend, I'll help you. But they won't help you. They'll give you 100 excuses as to why they cannot help you. Everything is just about them, very self-absorbed and very selfish. The other one is they're egotistical. Ooh, I'm not even gonna go into that. There are people that are not narcissists but are very egotistical. There are people that are narcissists, extremely egotistical. The other one is they are pathological liars. Oh! How do you know when a narcissist is speaking the truth? You will never know, because the moment they open their mouth, they are lying. When they breathe, it's a breath of lies, because that's all they do. They lie. A narcissist will even lie about a stupid thing as how their day was. They come home from work, you're like, oh, how was your day today? And they will lie. They will lie about things that are unnecessary. Like, you guys, have you met someone that is a pathological liar? Yeah. I'm thinking about the number of times when I dealt with a narcissist and the lies they would come up with. And I'm like, really? Do you think I'm 5 years old? That I'm not gonna see that you're lying? But they are pathological lies. And the only time they will even tell the truth, they won't tell you the whole truth. They'll only tell you half of the truth to make themselves look good, but still somehow lie. Then the other one is they are pathological cheaters. Now, we have to be very careful with this one. Not all narcissists cheat. Not all psychopaths cheat. Not everyone with BPD cheats. But there are narcissists that are pathological cheaters. They will never have one partner. I'm sorry to break it down to you. They can act like you're the only one, but you're not the only one. You will never be the only one. Even when they get married, they will still cheat. After they get caught, they will continue to cheat. A narcissist that does cheat is a pathological cheater. That is what they will always do till they die, or unless they get saved and give their lives to the Lord. The other one is that they're vain. Vain and self-absorbed, selfish, it's all in the same thing. And the other one is they're manipulative. They are manipulative mentally and emotionally. And how does a narcissist manipulate? I'm going to think of an example. A narcissist will manipulate you by using your own trauma that you shared with them to make themselves look good. So for example, let's say the narcissist did something wrong, right? And you shared something with the narcissist that is very private. You shared it with them because you know they're your friend or they're your partner and you trust them and you love them. So you opened yourself up and you're like, you know what, when I was growing up, my dad used to be like this. And now that I'm 30 years old, I can see my dad's traits within me. But now that I'm aware of it, I can change and be better than my dad. You're sharing that with your partner because it's your partner. It's supposed to be safe to share such information with them. Now, when the narcissist gets caught cheating or gets caught lying or just doing something wrong that they were not supposed to be doing, when you confront the narcissist and be like, you know, what you did was not right, blah, 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 blah. Now, the narcissist is going to spin it around and be like, I am not wrong for what I did. You see how you're acting? You're just like your dad when blah, 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 blah. When your dad used to do this. You see, you're just like your dad. Nothing has changed. Do you see? So now, instead of them saying that, I'm sorry, I was wrong for doing what I did, it will never happen again. No, they're not going to do that. They are going to remember that, oh yeah, she shared something about her dad. Now let me use that information to manipulate the situation so she ends up feeling shitty about herself. So sorry for my language. The Lord is still working on me. So the narcissist will take information that you shared to them because you trusted them and use it to manipulate the situation so you end up feeling bad, and then you're the one who ends up apologizing to the narcissist. Because now you're going to be like, in your mind, you're thinking, oh my word, maybe I am acting like my dad, but I thought I was working on this. Maybe I haven't improved. He's right or she's right. Let me apologize. Then you end up apologizing to the narcissist when the narcissist was the one who was wrong in the first place. So they are very manipulative and they're very calculative. So calculative, manipulative, same thing. The other one is some narcissists act shy. They're not shy. They pretend to be shy. They're not shy. They are sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. That shyness that they pretend to be. And people are like, oh, Zandile is such a shy person. No, Zandile is not shy. Zandile is sneaky. I'm just hiding my sneakiness by my shy. So I'm using being shy to hide how sneaky I am. And then the other one is narcissists to look down on other people. Goes with egotistical. Narcissists always think they're better than everyone else. They look down on everyone and anyone and everyone. They're better. Not the narcissist is always better. They're the best in everything they do. You cannot argue with them. They're the best. The other one is that they love to gossip. Whew! Narcissists love to gossip. Reason being is that they always want to know what is happening in other people's lives because their lives is so miserable. But instead of dealing with their own lives, they want to know what is happening in other people's lives, because when they know that other people are miserable, it makes them feel better about their situation. So they find pleasure in knowing that other people are miserable. So because the only way they'll find out information is by liking to gossip. So they'll gossip with this person and that person and that person just to know what's happening in everyone's lives and be like, and make themselves feel better about their lives. And if through gossiping, they find out that your life is, bad things are happening in your life, they find pleasure in you going through bad things in your life. A good tree will never produce something that is something like that, where a good tree will not produce finding pleasure in someone else's pain. Now a bad tree will produce finding pleasure in someone else's pain. The other thing is that they are energy vampires. A narcissist takes your energy. When they see you happy, you cannot be happy around the narcissist. They will make sure to bring your happiness down, and then they suck all your energy, and then you end up being sad and tired and miserable. How do they do this? They can do this by, they see you happy, right? You had a great day. You're happy, you're coming back from work. Then they look at you. In their minds, they're like, oh, you're happy. That's not going to happen. They're going to start an argument. They start the argument, they drag the argument. By the time you're done arguing, you're arguing for an hour and 2 hours. You are so tired that when you actually reflect on this argument, you are actually arguing about nothing. And then you find yourself tired and sad and drained. Energy vampires. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you joyful. They don't want to see you excited. And narcissists are also very jealous. They're jealous of your accomplishments. They're jealous of whatever you accomplish or whatever you achieve. They are never happy for someone else. And the jealousy also goes with the characteristic of being competitive. Everything to a narcissist is a competition because they always want to win. They always want to be the best. So they are always jealous, will never congratulate you. And even when they do say congratulations, you can actually pick up that it's not genuine. You know when someone is genuinely happy for you, right? And you share with them these news like, I got a promotion at work today. And then they're going to be happy with you and they they're going to celebrate with you. But when it's someone that is toxic and someone that has narcissistic traits, their congratulations is different. You can pick it up. You can pick it up. And the other one is they're never happy for others, which goes with jealousy. They're very robotic. Narcissists and psychopaths are very robotic. What do I mean by robotic? Everything is like, it's not natural. It's like they don't flow with things. It's like they read in a textbook that a guy or girl must be like this, so they do exactly what the textbook says. Nothing with the narcissist or psychopaths it flows. Nothing about them is just like natural. Everything with them, it's like, okay, A, okay, B. I know A plus B is AB, or I know 1 plus 1 is 2. They always stick to 1 plus 1 is 2. They won't do 2 plus 0 is 2. Like there's so many ways to get 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. No, they're not going to do all those others. All they know is 1 plus 1 is 2. They will stick to that that textbook definition. So very robotic. And they always want to seem like they know everything. Yeah, they always want to seem like they know, straightforward. And they will never admit when they're wrong, which is they lack accountability. Like I made an example on when they manipulate you mentally or emotionally. A narcissist will never take accountability for their actions. A narcissist will never be like, I was wrong. I caused you to feel that way because of my actions. I apologize and I will never do it again. And I will improve on that trait of mine that is toxic or a red flag so that I don't repeat those bad actions. Narcissists do that? No. A narcissist will say to you, I'm sorry. They move on. The next day they do it again. I'm sorry. Or they will say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. They do something to hurt you. When you tell them that I'm hurt, they will say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. So when they say, I'm sorry you feel that way, they are taking the accountability off from them and putting it on you. Instead of saying, I messed up, I acted incorrectly, or my actions were incorrect, and I'm sorry that my actions hurt you. I'm sorry that my actions hurt you. Not that I'm sorry you feel that way. That is not an apology. That is manipulation. Next thing is the last one. They are irresponsible with money. Most narcissists and psychopaths are irresponsible with money. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to spend money. Even if they do have money, for some reason the money is gone. They don't even know what they did with it. Or when they do have money, instead of doing the things that are important first, like paying rent, buying groceries, paying school fees, like doing the important things, when they have money, they want to buy like name brands that are expensive. They want to go eat at the most expensive restaurants. They want to show off and not do the important things that they need to do with money. So most narcissists and psychopaths are very irresponsible with money. So the narcissistic traits that I mentioned, like I said, this is not a closed list. There's many other characteristics, but I just mentioned these ones because it's the ones that I know of, and I've experienced them from the people that I've talked with in terms of helping them deal with a narcissistic partner or sibling or friend. these are the traits that they also would see or pick up on. Now, I'm going to go back to the verse, Matthew 7, verse 15, where you will see someone's true selves by their fruits. So, when someone has a good heart, has good intentions, they will make a mistake because they're human, but because they have a good heart and good intentions, they're able to see where they went wrong, and they're able to be like, okay, I was wrong in this situation. What can I do to not do that mistake again? So they work on it. A bad heart with bad intentions, they don't care if they hurt you, they don't care if they manipulate you, all they care is about themselves. So you will always see someone by their actions. Stop listening to their words. Look at the actions. Look at the fruit that the person is producing. So that's the message that I wanted to share today. Let's learn to not go around calling everyone a narcissist. We all have narcissistic traits. We all have red flags. But the difference between us and a narcissist or psychopath is that we are willing to work on our narcissistic traits. We are willing to work on our red flags and improve as an individual and to better our character. Whereas a narcissist and a psychopath, they find pleasure in having red flags. They find pleasure in hurting people. So that is the difference. The biggest difference I can say between a normal person, I'm doing this because it's not really normal. A normal person and a narcissist is intention. But I'll make a different video. And yeah, this video is 26 minutes. Didn't think it would be that long. But let us not go around calling people narcissists just because a person is a liar or just because a person cheats or just because someone has a big ego. It does not mean they are a narcissist. You have to spend a lot of time with someone and study their behavior, study their patterns before you are able to say, yeah, this one is a narcissist. I'm sending you guys all the love, peace, light that the Lord has to offer. Take care.